Same view from the other video in the broad light of day. This is about noon-ish. And, well, you can see it's a lot different, isn't it? I'll go slowly, slowly, slowly. I had meant in my other video I began, and it was cut off, and that's my fault for the low power of the battery, but I'd wanted to begin with the I'm still recuperating, and I didn't want to make this just about my health situation, but if this helps someone, I had influenza, as I've said several times, I know, but I didn't know it would be this bad, and it really brought me down a lot, and I'm still recuperating, and this has been a couple of weeks now. And when I would hear influenza before, you think like the flu, and I know the influenza panic of 1918 and what happened. I know lots of people died, but I don't think that's the same thing as what we call the flu today. When we talk about the flu or the cold, what do? We think about something that goes on for a few days and you don't feel so good, but no, this was really different. And I am not an anti-vaxxer, I'm the opposite. I will be the first guy in line for his vaccine, I promise you. And it's not that I was against it, I just wasn't aware that the influenza was that prevalent here. But where I was, and it isn't right here in Merida, right now where I am, but where I was, where I contracted it, was in Chikpo. And it was there, and a lot of people had it, and several people died also. That's how serious it is. It's a very strong strain. And, I don't have to explain, there are many strains of it, right? But, hola, ¿qué tal? Mi vecino, my neighbor. What I would say is, get your vaccines. And I've learned my lesson. I just didn't know that things were this prevalent and that what was going on. And the first time I came to Latin America, I was given this long list of things to get, blah, blah, blah. And I did. I observed them all, and I'm glad that I did. But I don't think they do that anymore these days when you're going abroad. Maybe they do, I don't know. They never did it with me. But my whole point is, if this can spare you some grief, and that's why I'm going on at such length about it, get your vaccines before you come. Don't listen to the idiots who tell you, oh no, don't listen, no vaccine. No, they're important. They are. So, goodness, sorry, hola. I'm seeing all my neighbors going by here today. Someone had asked me to make a video about the cost of living here. And wow, I had said previously that if you look at Paul and Natasha's Nomadic AF, and it's just as it sounds, Nomadic space capital A capital F. They have some really great videos there about cost of living, and I don't know how I can add to that except to say, well, I was asked specifically about Merida. Even that, it depends where you want to live, what your budget lifestyle is, the things you want to do. For me, these houses here, as you see, which is the neighborhood I live in, well, I live just around the corner. Rent here is $2,500 a month. Pesos, that is. So it depends on where you're coming from. Canada, it's the exchange right now, I believe, is 12.42. For one Canadian dollar, 12.42 pesos. I'm not sure as much from the States. I think it's 17. So you have to do your own math, sorry. I don't have a calculator here with me, but it's not hard. So that's 2,500 pesos a month for where you live. I pay, it would come to my electricity. That would be about $18 Canadian a month. Sorry, for 2 months, so $9 a month. The bill comes every 2 months. A water bill I've never received yet. I don't know if it's just included in where we live, or I don't know, but I don't have a water bill yet. Internet, I think, is like $20.22 a month. That would be Canadian, remember. And the garbage collection, that's 30 pesos every 2 months. And the garbage comes 3 times a week. That's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And what else? I talked about the electricity, the internet, the garbage, the rent. Water. You've got to buy your own drinking water. You can't drink it out of the tap. And that's one of my small errands today. And I'll show you right here. And I would invest in a little cart like this. I used to carry it on my shoulder, but and that's okay. But this is a lot easier, right? So this is 5 gallons, and I think that that's 42 pesos. You can find it cheaper, but that's not purified. It's filtered, but I'd rather be on the safe side. I've gotten sick before from other drinking water, so I'd rather buy the purified water for 42 than water for 12 pesos for 5 gallons. It's worth it, I think. And this is sold everywhere, right? Something like tortillas, and you do, even if you don't like them, or you move here and you don't like them, you gotta grow to like them, and you will. Just keep eating them. It's like anything. They're really good, and you'll start craving them, actually. And there are 2 places here that sell handmade tortillas. And I don't always go there because they're in the center. And I can make my own if I want to have them handmade. The like machine-made ones, and again there are 1, 2, 3, 4 places here. And it's a small village, so that's a lot, right? Really? I think that the the machine-made tortillas are right now 18 pesos for a kilo. That's 2.2 pounds. You can buy also half a kilo or a quarter kilo. That's a lot. And well, I'm alone right now, so a quarter of a kilo will keep me going for a bit. There's also families here that make like tortilla chips from the tortillas, the old leftover ones, and those are a real good deal. And you know, you're supporting local business, and I believe in that strongly. So I still need to make my little video about the local prices of things like fruits, vegetables. And again, though, as Paul and Natasha have said in their video on Nomadic AF, you can go to 4 different stores, get 4 different prices. They're all going to be pretty much the same. They'll vary a little bit, but budgets and so on, I was asked about that specifically. Well, I've talked about rent, electricity. Oh yes, I'll interrupt myself and say there was someone I was speaking with in the park in the Centro Historico yesterday who was telling me it is impossible to live, and this is the 3rd time I've spoken with her over the past 6 months. She said it is impossible to live in Mexico on less than 70,000 US a year. I think, on what planet were you born? 70,000, my budget. Honey, trust me, it's a lot less than that. And again, depends what you're looking for, but I think 2,500 pesos a month for rent. Okay, I'd go up to 3,500. That's reasonable. When you start going more than that, 4,000, not for a single person. No, that's too much, I think. The other things should remain the same, though. The electricity, the internet, the water, and so on. One thing, I don't have a car and I don't miss it. I don't even think about it, actually. And one of the ways of helping integrate into a neighborhood, I take the moto-taxistas, and there's one coming, and you'll see it as it comes around the corner. 15 pesos to go to the centro here. So that's just a little more than $1, right? There we go. Well, that's a friend of mine. He waved. You probably didn't see it. 15 pesos to go to the centro. A little more than $1. That's a really good deal. And then it's 10 pesos on bus to go from here to the historical centro. So altogether, 10, 15, what? That's about $2 Canadian to go all the way downtown. And there you're at the market, you're at the Central Square, you're at the museums, you're at the theaters, you're at everything, the National Ballet, and so on. So how many times a week would you go out? Well, me, I don't know. I don't have like some weeks I go out twice, some weeks I go out once, but it's something to do, right? I think walking though is absolutely the best. The best way to get around. You can't beat that. It's good for your health. It's good for everything. Your blood pressure, your sugar, blood sugar. And that's how you meet people. And here, people will start talking with you. I think they say I have my camera, so they're not coming. But usually, if I bring a book and I sit here, you know, 2 or 3 people will come and sit and chat for an hour or more. Not at this time of day, people are at work or in their milpas, their cornfields. But yeah, usually that's what happens. So that's something else too that's good for the mental health, is having a social structure, social interactions, and being in a place where people aren't afraid to come up and talk, or rather it's natural, right? I was going by the park the other day, and there were these 3 guys sitting there playing cards, and they were like, senor, ven, come here, play with us, we need a fourth hand, fourth person. And they weren't looking for anything, they weren't playing for money, nothing. And you know, if I were in Canada or the sad US, and 3 guys said to me, come sit with us, I'd be like, in the US, no way. In Canada, I'd be a bit more open, because it's a bit more different. But here, it's just completely normal. And, you know, same thing. It goes both ways. You see someone sitting there, you can talk to them. You get on the bus, sit down, someone's next to you, start talking. That's normal. It's not abnormal. And that's the way life should be. Like, we're human beings living in the community. I had a really bad experience just last night. It was with someone else I know claimed, oh, he was being very, this is someone from the US, where I store my things. Someone else I know said, oh, he was being very friendly. I'm like, that's not friendly. Maybe it's friendly for the US, but for the rest of the thinking world, no, that was not friendly. That was mean. And I met him ball for ball, as the poem goes. And there's nothing bad in that. It means it's from the poem from the Battle of the North Bridge, and the farmers met them ball for ball behind each fields and corner wall. But you know, then when you come back at people the same way they meet you, then you're the bad one. It's like, no. You said all of these things, and now I'm just supposed to sit there and not answer and be all smiles? No. And I wasn't mean. All I did was just say, no, this is not right. Stop it. And then I'm the mean guy. That's what I mean about US friendly. They are really screwed out of their minds, as everyone knows, who has been out of the US for a while or who's from there and moved away. And that's why people move out of there, because they are screwed out of their heads. So that's one thing you like if you move here. There's real friendliness, and people don't do... Well, wherever you go, you're going to find bad things, right? But no, here it's very different, and people are just a lot more real. And there we go. That's the end of the street, and it's just lovely, I think. If you see there's a little store on the right-hand side further down. You can see the little things. He sells tacos on Fridays, Saturday, and Sundays. Sometimes Thursdays, but I think he went away for a little bit, I've heard. But right, he should be back tonight. And just here at this corner, and I wanted to do an interview with her, and she said yes, she acquiesced. She sells tortas and tacos every Saturday and Sunday morning. So this is the place, and I'll give you one last view before I hang up. The other night, remember, it was morning. I did a night one too here earlier. So now you have all 3, morning, noon, and night.